Welcome back, everyone. We want to go back now to our team coverage on the murder arrest in the Jennifer Dulos case.
And if you're just catching up with all of this right now, here is what we learned today while you were at work, perhaps. These three people right here faced a judge. Fotis Dulos, his former girlfriend Michelle Troconis, and attorney Kent Mawhinney all were in court but did not post bond.
And obviously, this is a very complicated case. There are a lot of questions surrounding it. Channel 3's Dennis House is joined by retired State Police Lieutenant J. Paul Vance. He is our law enforcement analyst with 20 years of experience with the Connecticut State Police. Dennis.
Tremendous knowledge he has indeed. Aaron and Mark, thank you. And we are now joined by Lieutenant Vance, retired from the State Police. Thank you for being with us again today.
Yes, sir, my pleasure.
I want to ask you, first of all, so he was supposed to post bond and then he didn't. She didn't post bond. What goes on behind the scenes with these bail and bond proceedings?
Well, it's a very meticulous process. As we saw today, the court did, in fact, set the bond when the arrest warrant was issued and reviewed all the information today to determine if that was going to change. For the most part, it stayed pretty much the same with some minor adjustments. And the court put additional restrictions on the defendants, which is important. And there is not any run-of-the-mill bond company in this state that can handle a $6 million bond, or even it's difficult for many of them to do $1 million bond. So it's got to be a bonding company. It gets very, very complicated just due to the size of the bond.
Let's talk about some of the evidence as we continue to go through these arrest warrants. And they say that, obviously innocent until proven guilty, yet do criminals make mistakes, and what kind of mistakes were made in this case by the criminals to tip off police?
Well, criminals do make mistakes, and that's what the investigators are trained to look for. They're trained to look for, we call it evidence, but they're trained to look for facts and circumstances that can help them construct the case, put the puzzle together, if you will, so you have a very clear picture as to what transpired, and you can answer all the questions surrounding exactly what happened in the incident.
Investigators have told me sometimes new murderers who are not experienced at this sort of thing are surprised by the amount of blood that a human being, that a victim will leave, and that it's very difficult to clean up.
Absolutely very difficult, and there are ways to discover it even after it's been cleaned up. And in this particular case, there was medical evidence that was entered into the arrest warrant, and it showed that, in fact, there was a great deal of medical debris, if you will, at the scene.
And so without a body, they can still determine, the medical examiner said that she suffered an unsurvivable wound.
Absolutely. And between medical evidence, forensic evidence, physical evidence, they're the building blocks of probable cause.
Always great insight from Lieutenant Paul Vance. Thank you so much for being with us today.